Hi, in this slide we're going to look at how Lifestyle Inc. did down the road after they had put in their minnow program, and also they put in their whale program. They really hyper focused on those core accounts, but also target accounts, because they realized, gosh, if management went out there and we started talking supply chain math and demand replenishment systems with these very large retail chains. And I mean, it's hard to sell these retail chains. You got to get to headquarters, and then you got to do pilots and all sorts of stuff. But they were going to stick with it and see what happened. So in 3 months, they were getting good results from the Minnow program. They had 30% less activity costs. They'd added about 2 points to the of sales to the bottom line from actually a modest loss. The morale of the best remaining employees was very optimistic because they'd done their good education. Everybody was on board. They had done a lot of successful conversion of their biggest losers, so that also added to the points. We're not increasing the sales as much. I mean, clearly some of these big losers, when you can, if you know the law of reciprocal costs, and you can point out how they are actually killing themselves in a nice way. They may say, golly, this is so much good. If we have more share, we'll give it to you. In this case, the nature of the product, they did not necessarily have that much more upside share that they could get, but they were now getting it on a profitable basis. And what's more important is their confidence in saying, let's look at lose-lose math and turn it to win-win supply chain math was getting better. Now, they did not have line item profit analytics. They were just using good old-fashioned Bruce, keep it simple, customer profitability, equation stuff. And but the important thing was they're starting to get some traction with some big target accounts. They had proposals, got to the proposal stage with 3 of their 10 targets, which was good. Now, 9 months after that, or 12 months after kick of the program, things were looking very rosy. Their profit margin now had gotten to 7%. Their sales was up 10% and seemingly growing. They've gotten traction now with 5 gazelles, up from 3 proposals. If we go out 3 years, their trajectory was fantastic. They were growing, 10-15% a year. They had landed over 15 whales and rolling out store by store, so that gave them a nice long-term growth rate there. They had actually been able to integrate backwards, and for all the product they were buying, a lot of it comes from Asia, they were able to do a little design tuning to sort of have their own peculiar look or their own private label twist, if you will. And sometimes sort of clever creative enhancements. So there was a little bit of design value added that they were doing and giving them a little bit more of a proprietary product design capability. The key thing, though, was the free cash flow was fantastic. And the guy who had founded the company was looking for an exit, and the cash flow was so fantastic he was able to sell the company to 2 key lieutenants. He actually kept 20% of the stock, so he's a tiebreaker because they each had 40 in case long term they couldn't get together, type of thing. And they had an option over another period of time, then buy out as 20%. So, but the point was he could have done anything. He could have sold the company to some outside company for a big price, but he liked these people, and and all that's just what he wanted to do. But the point was he had all the choices. When you have no debt and you have huge free cash flow, you have all choices, which is a nice place to be. What are the morals to the story? In addition, are there any more morals to the story as far as minnow wholesale management? He just says, as careful and cautious as we are looking backwards and knowing what I now know, I mean, obviously I just wish I'd done it a lot sooner. I would have done it a lot quicker and in a sense better and bolder, just like Columbus probably did on his second and third trip to the New World, as opposed to the first time he ever was trying to sail west to get east. It's tough to do a new paradigm the first time around, but second, third time, the learning curve is huge. They, in the process, over time, they basically had the need for and were trying to basically move towards line item profit analytic capability. So they were getting better at how do we build the line item and build the order size, and how do we tune fill rates better, how do we fix the very popular but small pick items, those kinds of things. They obviously had terrific belief now in the upside dynamic of 555 selling. Most people just kind of So we're already calling them. And we're already getting what we're getting. We're already getting the lion's share. No, no, there's much more share to be had. And with these target accounts, if you think in terms of supply chain demand replenishment and marrying them and getting it all, that's just a whole other world. So they obviously didn't necessarily believe that when they first started doing this minnow program, but obviously they believe it completely now. Um, Clearly, they wouldn't hold on to moribund losing minnows for volume's sake. And a very big one was is they decided that they would not sell retailers where what they had to offer was, just 1, 2, 3, 4% of the retailer's sales. It just wasn't on the retailer's radar screen. It was kind of a, oh, to the consumer, you want that? Yeah, I guess we could get that for you if you really insist, and so do a special order rush on peanuts kind of thing. So they really said we need to do a better job on figuring out who really substantially buys what we're doing. It's important to them, and owning that kind of business. So getting better alignment with their customers or the niches they went after. So that's the happy story of Lifestyle Inc. Thank you.